World Champs seem to print money. They have found a way to bring back or extend most of their key guys. OBJ still hanging in the balance for the Rams. LA's win total stands at 10.5. Seems low, but let's get some perspective from our men in the know. They were a 12-win team a season ago. B-Mac, where do you stand on that number of 10.5?
It is low. Very, very difficult schedule. I think they have the toughest schedule out of the entire NFL, deserving so. But this is a talented team with great coaching on both sides of the football. So I'm taking the over, guys. Matthew Stafford, basically in an experimental-like year, was second in the league in passing touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go above that number this year. You get a full and healthy Cam Akers, right, for the entire season. Then you add Allen Robinson to what they already have when it comes to the wide receivers as well. Some pieces here or there on both sides of the football will take this team over the hump. I don't even have to really mention Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. We all know what they bring to the table. But this is a talented team that's very, very motivated, by the way. So me personally, I take the over.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. It seems like when people talk about the salary cap not being real, they only talk about New Orleans and the Rams. And James from Good Times must be the GM because he could make that money stretch for Los Angeles because they get everybody in under the contract, under the salary cap. So they're going over because their division, to me, has a lot of questions up and down the board. So they'll feast off the division, and they're still excellent on defense. They'll be able to run the football, and Stafford should be much more comfortable going into the second season in this system, coming off of a Super Bowl win. So I'm excited to see how he can build on what he did last season for the Rams. So this is an easy over for me.
And there's a look at the Rams' win totals under Sean McVay, of course, winning the Super Bowl at the end of last season. Guys, can we talk about the Arizona Cardinals for a second? Head coach Cliff Kingsbury is praying that Kyler Murray's contract is done before the start of training camp. This is not a good way to start the season. And for a team that looked like it was on the verge of great things for so much last season, I mean, it really sure feels different in the desert. The total is 9. Emory, you going over or under with that?
This is another one of these under push situations because I feel like 9 is the magic number for Arizona. They're going to be without DeAndre Hopkins for 6 games, I believe, the first 6 games of the season due to suspension. You don't really know if they're going to be able to run the football or stick to the run game. And you don't know which Kyler Murray is going to show up. You know, if you get pressure on Kyler Murray, that ball comes out quick, comes out hot, and it comes out to whoever is standing in his vicinity. Sometimes it's the other team. So I have a lot of questions about Arizona on paper. I love what the pieces they've been building on defense, but offensively, I still have some questions. So 9 to me is the limit, so I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm taking the under, and here's why. The storyline for this team over the last few years has been starting off hot and dying down, right? But Emory talked about who they will be missing in the first 6 ball games. DeAndre Hopkins, and what we saw last year when he was dealing with that injury, and I think he missed the final 6 ball games, their offense was a bit stagnant. Wasn't efficient, didn't score a lot of points. So now you're starting the season off without your best offensive skill guy in DeAndre Hopkins. If you look at the first 5 ball games, guys, you got Kansas City, you got the Raiders, you got the Rams, you got the Panthers, you got the Eagles. And you're going through that stretch without DeAndre Hopkins. We might see a slow start, and that would be the opposite from what we saw in years past. And if that's the case, it might be a little too much for them to get around when you look at trying to finish the season hot. So I'm taking the under, and I also have concerns, as you guys mentioned, with Kyler Murray. If they don't get a contract done, listen, I don't even know if he will show up to work if he don't have a huge contract laid out in front of him for him to sign.
Yeah, that's a big storyline there. Let's finish strong, gentlemen. The 49ers were a 10-7 team a season ago. San Francisco's number again is 10 coming into this season, but there is uncertainty under center. Will Jimmy Garoppolo be on the team? The reins, will they be handed to Trey Lance? Is he ready for it? That's the question. Emory, where do you see San Francisco with regards to that total win total of 10?
Yeah, if this was Jimmy Garoppolo going in, I still would have gone under. But since it's Trey Lance, I'm smashing the under because you don't know what you're going to get from him. First year full starter as the quarterback. Hadn't really played a lot of football, so you still have those questions about him that you had coming out of North Dakota State. I know he has gotten acclimated to the system, but when you're starting out there, it's different as live bullets. You can't fake live in practice. Defensively, they'll be in a lot of games because they're very good defensively. I worry about the offense, and you're going to see this growing pains type situation with Trey Lance if he's the starter. It's good that he's getting all the reps, but I still have to go under 10. 10 to me seems a bit rich for this division and that football team in particular.
It is a bit rich. That's why you cash your checks. Take the over. Take the over. Give me the over, and here's why. Trey Lance, yes, I know the concerns. I have concerns as well. But one thing I don't have any concerns with is the play caller. And with Sean Payton now retiring from the NFL, it's safe to say Kyle Shanahan is the best play caller in the National Football League. He's a guy that loves players with versatility, and he finds a way to get the best out of those said players. So if you're telling me you're going to give Kyle Shanahan at the quarterback position a poor man's Lamar Jackson, good night. He is going to make a lot of things happen with Trey Lance. And yes, I said poor man's Lamar Jackson. That's no knock on Trey Lance. That's just tribute to Lamar Jackson because he's that type of player. Wait, just think about that. If you can implement that type of guy in that offense along with some of the other versatile players they have, on the offensive side, they're going to be very, very entertaining, and they're going to score a lot of points. And I don't even have to transition to the defensive side when you look at Bosa and the guys. For me personally, when you look at the play calling ability of Kyle Shanahan with a poor man's Lamar Jackson and Trey Lance, Mitchell in the backfield, Debo, let me tuck my chain in because he will be there. He's not getting traded. He will have a new contract. Also on the offensive end, and Brandon Ayuk, this is your year. It's time for you to show up. From a first rounder, it's time for you to show up. I think he's going to have a huge year. They're going to do numbers. Give me the over.
I think P-Mac he's all in on the Niners there. We're down to the last team. It's the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson, gone. Geno Smith and Drew Lock, they're going to battle it out for the QB1 spot. They're either really interested in Baker Mayfield or they never were interested at all, and that was all overblown. It all depends on who you're listening to and on what day you're listening to them. The odds makers don't have a ton of belief in this team at all, seeing as the total is 6. Emory, you get the first word here. What do you think about 6 in the Seahawks?
Listen, let's go out with a bang. I'm going to say what I have to say, then I'm going to leave because I'll let B-Mac talk to itself.
Drop the mic,
I'm going to go over here with the
Lord.
Seahawks. Here's why.
Lord.
The team rocks with Geno Smith. If you listen to how these guys speak about Geno Smith, they really rock with Geno, and Geno has confidence, and he should play well, and this is why he'll play well. That run game is going to be tremendous for Seattle. They are 3 deep in the backfield. They got Rashad Penny back. They drafted Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State. They have DJ Dallas along with Travis Homer, but keep an eye out for Josh Johnson, UL Monroe guy, running the football there. But they bring in Noah Fant via the trade. They also still have Lockett out there, DK Metcalf. The offensive line on the interior should be outstanding in terms of the run game. They drafted Charles Cross out of Mississippi State, the highest they've drafted an offensive lineman in quite some time. And on defense, they bring in Tariq Woolen. I know B-Mac loves him. He was the one that broke the story on Tariq Woolen and what he was going to be able to do at corner. They also drafted Kobe Bryant. They should be better on the back end. They're switching to a more 3-4 defense, so I feel like this secondary should be even better. That linebacking core, we'll see them step up. I'm a big fan of Jordan Brooks and what he brings to the table. I think Seattle can get the 6 or 7 wins, so I'm going to go over. I like the way this team is built. I think they shock people.
Shocked. I'm shocked from what you just gave us. Somebody check the cup. Whatever you got in that cup, I don't want none of it. I don't want none of it because it's going to have me feeling some type of way. Emory, let me ask you a question, and let me ask both of you guys a question as well in the studio, right? First game is against Denver. Is that a winnable ball game? Can we go around the table? Emory, you're first. Is that winnable?
It is winnable, but they won't win because Denver's better.
All right, Russ, Jim, what you got?
I think it's winnable because it's at home.
Yes, it's a winnable game.
No, it's not a winnable. Russell Wilson, you guys are talking about. San Francisco next. Emory, Russ, Jim. Is that winnable?
Win.
Sure, because we don't know what Trey Lance is going to do.
Yeah, you're high on Trey Lance. You're high on Trey Lance.
We don't know.
We need more evidence.
We don't know. How do you know?
Y'all been sharing the same.
Yeah.
Y'all been sharing the same cup that Emory is utilizing right there to his right side, by his right knee. I'm taking it under. Enough said. You guys are talking about this and that, and Emory talking about the running game and the offensive line and the crowd, the 12th man. And listen, it's about quarterback play. If you don't have a quarterback in the game of football, the field is 150 yards. It feels like you got to go an extra 50 to score. That is the issue right now with the Seattle Seahawks, not to mention talent. They lack talent in key places, especially on the defensive side. They've been trying to find a way to get quality players that can add value to what they used to bring to the table. They haven't been able to do so. So me personally, just in the division alone, it's going to be tough. And then when you factor in teams that they have to play outside of the division, heck, it's going to be tough. And you guys just mentioned they're still in the sweepstakes for Jimmy Garoppolo. Even though his play 60 arm is not even together yet, they're still in the sweepstakes for Jimmy G and potentially Baker Mayfield. You know why? Because they're not quite sold on the two guys they have at the quarterback's position now fighting it out, and when Geno Smith and Drew Lock. So me personally, under. I don't want anything that Emory has in his refrigerator. Never offer me anything to drink, Emory.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.